Speed is very important because it allows you to create habits. It allows you to, it allows you to output more, which more output means more people you reach, more revenue. Speed also gives you the ability to evolve very quickly. Once you get stuck in and you implement your processes that you put in place, the quicker you can execute them, the quicker you're going to evolve, or you're going to, grow. And the one thing I love about speed, in most of all, is that it gives us the ability to, I suppose, expose our weaknesses. And that's really where the big learning curve comes for us. When we're able to expose where we're falling short or where the pitfalls are, that actually just helps us improve our processes, to refine them, become better, become quicker, and in turn, all of the latter points I just made happens faster.
Welcome to Grow Think Tank. This is the one and only place where you will get insight from the founders and the CEOs of the fastest growing privately held companies. I am the host. My name is Gene Hammett. I help leaders and their teams navigate the defining moments of their growth. Are you ready to grow? Fast growth companies, well, they think fast, they make fast decisions, and they have people that are willing to accept the speed of growth. When you think about driving your company to the next level, do you think about, getting your people to be more effective, more efficient? You probably also think about how you want them to speed up. Well, today we're talking all about speed. We're looking at speed from the perspective of leadership. What do we have to do as leaders to drive our people to go faster? Today I have Ryan Margolin. He's the CEO of Professional Hair Labs. They create adhesive products for different things that go on replacement hair products. I'm smiling when I say that. I don't have use their products, but I do know that a lot of people need these kind of products. And so they have created a culture of speed. Their company has grown really fast. They were number 372 on the Inc. list in 2017. They had over 6 million in sales, over 1,200% in 3 years. Now, when I say these numbers, I want you to understand it's not just about the numbers, but it's about how people are engaging that kind of growth. They have added people to the mix so that they could get that kind of culture growth. Today in the interview, we unpacked exactly how that's been done. Before we dive into the interview, I wanted to remind you that you can actually get a tool that I've been working with clients with for the last couple of years. I've refined this tool that's gone through several iterations. Now we have it completely automated. You can actually go online and fill out the leadership quiz. To get the leadership quiz, just go to theleadershipquiz.com. That's pretty easy, right? Theleadershipquiz.com. What you will get when you do that is you will answer a few questions. You will see where you rate based on the core principles of fast growth companies. If you're ready to grow your company or you want to see where you are, then make sure you go to theleadershipquiz.com. Inside it, you will get insight to where you are, understand where you want to improve, and you will get them mapped into the 10 areas that are most specific to fast growth companies. Again, go to theleadershipquiz.com and you can get that right now. Now, here's the interview with Ryan. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
I'm good, Gene. How are you?
I am fantastic. Excited to talk about speed and what has made your company grow so fast. But before we do that, Ryan, tell us a little bit about the company, what it is and what you guys do.
Yeah, sure. So the company name is Professional Hair Labs, and we're a manufacturer and distributor of our own brand of cosmetic bonding adhesives, shampoos, conditioners, wet lines, hair care maintenance for the non-surgical hair replacement industry. So what we do is we manufacture a full line of products and we distribute those to distributors. We also wholesale them to salons, hair studios, online resellers. So the scope is purely B2B.
Well, fantastic. We probably know people that use your products, but we may not know it because they have good products, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of people that use our products, and because of I suppose the nature of the business, a lot of people like to be very private about it. So we kind of cater to all types of home users, salon users, and we do respect the privacy of our customers. So there's a lot of cases where they do use our products, and for privacy purposes, we can't say anything.
Well, we all understand that. We all have certain confidentiality. In my business, we do as well. And this is not about selling hair products and whatnot. It's about the business and the culture and the leadership around your fast growth company. I wanted everyone to get a feel for what you do. How many employees do you have, Ryan?
At the moment, we have 12 employees in total between both locations. We have one location in Florida and we have one location in Ireland.
When you think about, the core factors that really drive growth for your company, we talked a few days ago about speed. And we've all heard this before that, speed is a really important factor in growing a company. Why do you think speed's so important for a growing company?
Yeah, see, this is it. I think the answer to these questions will differ from person to person. I think from my perspective, speed is very important because it allows you to create habits. It allows you to, it allows you to output more, which more output means more people you reach, more revenue. Speed also gives you the ability to evolve very quickly. Once you get stuck in and you implement your processes that you've put in place, the quicker you can execute them, the quicker you're going to evolve or you're going to, grow. And the one thing I love about speed in most of all is that it gives us the ability to, I suppose, expose our weaknesses. And that's really where the big learning curve comes for us, when we're able to expose where we're falling short or where the pitfalls are. That actually just helps us improve our processes, to refine them, become better, become quicker, and in turn, all of the latter points I just made happens faster.
One of the things that I want to ask you, you told me a story the other day, and I just want to set context with this. You create a lot of products because of the nature of your business. You're always evolving and innovating. You had a product that basically you thought would be a pretty good product. I don't know what you went through, but you came to market in about 4 weeks, which is pretty amazing given the size that you have and even the number of people you have. Tell us a little bit about that story.
Yes. So really, it was quite simple. Only because we've improved the process enough to make it simple. We were having a lot of feedback around a few of our products that, some of the hair that was being used, or some of the adhesive that was being used to attach the hair, wasn't holding in the manner it was supposed to. And what we realized was that a lot of the application processes being used to attach it was where it was failing. And we've always had a few application methods that we've used ourselves to, test our product and give recommendations on our product. But it was causing so much of an issue that we realized, look, we have to really bring this to market. This is not something we can sit on any longer, because, the view of performance is being affected. I suppose the reputation of our brand could potentially be affected, and our name. So we literally took the processes that we go through on a normal product development, and we said to ourselves, okay, how can we actually speed this up, and bring this from, 3 months down to 4 weeks? Because the quicker we can get this to market, the quicker we're going to resolve this problem. So that's really where the whole concept came from. So we had our initial meeting and we shared ideas about how we were going to do this. The meeting was no more than an hour long, maybe an hour and a half. We over a cup of coffee and some notes. And then we delegated some of the roles to different people within the organization that wouldn't normally have that responsibility. But we knew if we needed to get this from A to B within 4 weeks, we were going to need the help of everyone. So that's really where where it was all created. And then through that process, it just happened to happen really quickly because we worked so closely that the communication was very open, and we were sharing the information with each other based upon our own experiences and our processes. That just helped us get to that point much quicker.
I'm sure there's a lot of leaders listening in here going, yeah, we can speed up a little bit, but you took it down to a third of your normal process. And you didn't, I would imagine this didn't just come from the top. It had to be, working together as a team. Is that fair to say? Absolutely.
This result definitely came from the foundation more so than the top down. It was from the bottom up, I took to the meeting what exactly I knew we needed, But then once we had a chance to really pull it together as a group, we realized that the core components of this were based upon the foundations from everyone. So that's really where the speed came from in that project development.
Well, I talk a lot about ownership. And when you have a bottom up kind of structure, that means you've empowered people. You have a real sense of trust and transparency that goes on in with each other. Do you feel like you have an empowered team that allows you to create that kind of speed of bringing a product to market?
Yes, absolutely. And I think, that being completely transparent, that's something more recent than anything. What we realized, the processes that we've created within the company are actually a lot more well-known than even I would have imagined. And this product development was key in showing me that. So it's been a really huge learning curve for us, and for me personally, to show that, look, we can actually repeatedly do this if we just have the right people in the right places. So yes, it was a great learning curve, and you're 100% right.
Now hold on for a second. Ryan just talked about top-down leadership, and that's a part of leadership in the early stages. Now, Ryan only has 12 employees, but as your company grows, as your company continues to add more people, you don't want to have just top down. You want to have bottom up as well. You want to have people that are so engaged, they're so empowered that they feel that sense of ownership. Now, this is one of the things I work with companies with all the time, about how leaders can get that sense or feeling of ownership inside the culture. And that's what drives growth, not the sheer cracking the whip and dangling carrots all the time. That feeling of ownership is something that comes from the inside. Now, you have so many options for you available if you want to go deeper into that. But the best one is to just email me, gene@genehammett.com, and say ownership. I want ownership. Send me that email. I'd love to talk to you. Now back to Ryan. So let's talk just a little bit more about speed. We want to create speed as a part of our culture in many of our businesses. If we want to grow faster, higher revenue, even higher degrees of customer satisfaction. How is that baked into the culture of Professional Hair Labs?
Yeah, are you talking in context of how it's embedded into the culture, like how it got there, or like how we've, our view on it? How did it get there? So I think fortunately for us, that came from the top down. So the company was started by my father. So it's myself and my two brothers and my father involved in it. So there was a lot of information that could be provided to us and given to us, from my father and his experience in the industry over the years. So that information is really what molded the core components of what we needed to do in order to, bring this into the company. My father didn't really always have that team there. In fact, our team has grown so much over the last 3 years. Prior to 3 years ago, there was only 3 people involved in this company, and we had a whole different setup, a whole different model of fulfillment and manufacturing. And now that we've brought everything completely in-house, we've taken those key components that were shared with us at the beginning, and we've really utilized them and expanded and improved on them.
So how do you make sure that you're hiring the right people that understand speed is very important to the way you guys work? Is there questions you use or anything that we can learn from that?
Yeah, that's really, it's a tough one to answer, because when you're hiring somebody, it can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. What I've learned over the period of time that we've been hiring and growing our team, we do look at experience and abilities, but I really rely heavily on my gut. And my gut has led me astray a few times, as any other business owner would openly say. But that's where I really heavily rely. I have an open conversation with the person. I let them lead the conversation and the information that they're feeding back, and I'd ask some further questions. And by the end of it, you'd have a pretty good idea, based upon the roles that they've been in, the companies that they worked for, or the experiences that they have, of how not only willing but capable they are to move at a fast pace but follow a system.
Ryan just talked about leading with his gut. Now, I know you probably have made a lot of decisions from your gut, but that is really something you have to think about as a leader. As you continue to evolve, you have to create more systems in place. And really, those systems should be created by your team members, not just you, because that's really empowering them. Because if they're part of the process, they will own it. And I know I've talked about ownership a lot. I know that everything in here has been about ownership, but I really do believe that if you want your employees to take more ownership, you've got to have this bottom-up structure. You want people to feel that sense of empowerment and trust inside your leadership and culture that allows for that. Now back to the interview. The systems of the business, are these some things you document, or is this something that you just people know because they've been doing it as part of their job?
No, everything in our business we've learned to document. And you know, originally we did actually just go with the flow based upon, you know, our previous experiences. We would realize we'd have to do step 1, step 2, step 3. But then what we figured out is that as our revenue started to grow, that really wasn't going to cut it anymore, because we had to move quicker. It became more complex, and we were forgetting parts of the process that ended up, you know, putting us 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks behind. I mean, there was a point where our processes fell apart so badly, we were growing so fast that our fulfillment time went from 2 days to 4 weeks. And we really had to pull everything back in and patch everything up and just start it from scratch again. So everything that we do within our company now has documented processes that we can literally roll out to any new team member, or, you know, they're scalable as well. So like, no matter what level of revenue we hit, yeah, we'll face more challenges, but our foundations are, and our core structure is there now. So we can actually have that to reference at any point.
This reminds me of some of the conversations I have with my clients when they come to me, things are sort of falling apart. And I ask them this question, and I want to ask you the same question. Have you ever thought about sometimes you have to slow down to speed up?
Yeah, no, and we did. And you know what, I kind of take that on myself personally. Like when we need to slow down, I slow it down myself, and then I rebuild it myself. And then I come back to the team with a process that I believe is going to with it very quickly. Now, over the past few months, you know, when I bring something forward to the team, only then you realize is that, okay, I've taken my time to pull things back, really think about it, structure it correctly, but I've forgotten points A, B, or C. And then they're like, but what happens if this happens? And then I'm like, absolutely, I think we need to go back. So yeah, no, I think you're 100% right. Sometimes you do need to slow down to speed up, because you really, no matter how much of the process you think you know, there's always going to be parts of it that you miss. And you just need good people on your team to be able to point that out to you.
This is one reason why, as leaders, we have to continue to evolve. What may have worked a couple of years ago, as we apply those same principles, they don't work now. And as you've added people, you've seen that too. I can see the look in your face. When you think about your own evolution as a leader, what are you focused on specifically?
What I can provide to our employees to make their job easier, because it originally it was about what can I learn to help the business, but at this point now I'm taking that in conjunction with how can I serve the employees to make sure that they have the tools that they need in order to execute the tasks and responsibilities and the growth that they want to, you know, they want to learn. So that's really my biggest learning curve, was that I realized, hold on, I need to stop making this about, you know, the 3 or 4 people that are constantly executing, you know, the high level tasks of the company. It's more about how can we support this from the ground up and actually give everyone the tools that they need. So that was my personal experience, you know, and where kind of leadership, the view of leadership changed for me.
I ask a lot of my interview guests the same question. I'm going to ask you, not knowing what the answer is going to be, but with a fast growth company, what's more important, your customers or your employees?
Our customers. And you know what, the reason I say our customers is simply because I know every single one of our employees that work with us on the team feel the exact same way. That's why I'm comfortable in stating that, because they know and we know, and this is what something that filters from the top down, regardless of what goes on, you know, even behind closed doors, we know that we have each other's back. So we know, regardless of how stressful things might get, or, you know, situations we might find ourselves in that are challenging, ultimately, we always put the customer first.
So I'm not trying to throw you a curveball here, but most fast growth leaders will say it's employees.
Yes, I know.
Early stage companies will lean toward customers as they get product validation. Bigger companies that are short-term thinking really focus on customer first. But in that sweet spot where companies are really, trying to activate people to think for themselves, be empowered, they know that as leaders, they put the employees first. Now, the whole company as a whole puts customers first.
Yes.
But your job as leaders, and you can take that any way you want to, but I just want to share some of that research because it's fascinating to see literally 90% or more people will say employee first.
Absolutely. And, my response to that would simply be is that we have a team of 12 people. So we're actually in a phase of large growth and diversification. So the leaders who have larger companies and, they have 30, 40, 50, 100 plus employees, I'm pretty sure, when we do eventually get to that point, I'm 100% positive my view will likely change because, look, when you're dealing with that many employees, it becomes about, the employees within that company to make it operate. Right now, as it stands, we're so heavily focused on customer service and making sure our product needs to do what we say it's going to do better than any of our competitors. Everyone within the company right now has that same focus. But going back to, to the statistic that you just served me, I'm pretty sure, in a couple of years' time or a few years' time, I might feel differently about that. But I'm open to that, that's all part of growth,
Well, it's good to see. And I'm not saying one's wrong or the other. I could go back and quote stats. Jeff Bezos, which is one of the wealthiest person in the world, will say it's customer first. But you have someone like Richard Branson, who's built 400 plus companies, will always say it's employee first.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of a barometer within the leadership. And I was kind of wondering where you were. So it's not that you're wrong or I'm wrong. The aspect of speed inside your company, I know you told us the story of bringing something to market. When you're working individually one-on-one, how have you found to get someone to speed up their work, or how have you really been able to coach someone as a leader to get them to understand the importance of speed?
Sorry, Gene, the connection kind of broke a little bit there. Can you repeat that?
Sure, I can. How do you work individually with one-on-one with someone who needs to speed up their work? They need to really, be coached, or what is your kind of method one-on-one on speed?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So within our organization, if there's a system that needs to be taught, myself and our operations manager here are well versed in all processes and all systems. So we will literally take them out of their role for a period of time, and they will literally shadow us, because I'm a firm believer that right now, where the company is at and how fast we're growing and the diversifications we're making, if we don't have every single employee within our company capable of understanding, the systems, or if I find they're falling short somewhere, the only way they're going to learn that is to be hands-on with it. So they need to we bring them in, they shadow us for a period of time. And then we literally give them, we give them a certain period of time where they execute all of those tasks till they can improve the process, and they can, improve the speed at which they're executing. It's just I find that the speed comes with the confidence and understanding. So if they're confident and they understand the process intimately, their speed just naturally improves.
Well, I used to work in a manufacturing environment, and obviously the first time you're doing something, you have no confidence in doing it, and it takes just
Absolutely.
actually doing it. So I love the fact that you are getting hands-on with your employees, and you're able to do that at this level.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, really appreciate you being here on Growth Think Tank. I've seen a lot of companies that want to speed up their processes and speed up the employees, but they weren't sure how. What we've really talked about today is talking about a style of leadership and expectations around speed, and maybe even challenging status quo through certain times when you've really got to all come together. So thanks for being here and sharing that here on the podcast.
Absolutely. And look, thanks Emil for having me. It's been a pleasure. And, look, I'm happy to share anything that I've learned, that we've learned. And look, that's how we all learn in the end, is by sharing information.
I love this conversation of growth because I know companies that want to grow faster, and they want to grow faster. So they start focusing on the numbers. They start focusing on, the strategies behind it, but they don't really think about the people. Today, we unpacked what it means to lead fast growth, what it means to activate people. How do you get individual players to raise their game, to go faster? How do you get them to contribute and collaborate together so that you grow faster? How do you get them to shave off time, off standard processes to go faster? That is something that a lot of companies are struggling with, and you probably are too as a leader. I love creating these kind of conversations for you because you want to grow your company faster. You want to be a stronger, more effective leader. Well, this is just a piece to the puzzle. Today, we talked about speed, but in order to activate full growth, you must really understand the full aspects of creating a growth model company or fast growth model. And that's something I've been working with over the years. I would love to share it with you. If you have any questions about what that fast growth model is, make sure you go to gene@genehammett.com. Send me an email about your company. I'd love to share with you a little bit about what that is in that model, but you have to send me that email first. Just go to gene@genehammett.com. As always, lead with courage. We'll see you next time.